My name is Josiah Gagosian, and I am an artist and professor at the University of New Orleans. This year, I have curated an exhibition of local LGBTQ+ artists in collaboration with the John Burton Harter Foundation. The exhibition features work from the late John Burton Harter, alongside a selection of diverse and colorful pieces from LGBTQ+ artists who, like Harter, have deep ties to New Orleans. Harter's work often documented gay male culture of the 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, focusing often on a celebration and exploration of the male body. The title of the show references a poem by Walt Whitman, whose lyrical work often overtly celebrated his own queerness and reveled in the sacred beauty of the human body across racial and gender lines. The artists I have asked to exhibit their work express a variety of individual perspectives and experiences relating to the body as a nexus for celebration, transformation, and queer liberation. They have their own ways of exploring what it means to inhabit a queer body in the 21st century, just as Harter's work evoked the queer ethos of his own place and time.
My name is Anthony Badon, and I'm a portrait painter. I do a lot of stuff with oil paints. I specialize in Black culture and nostalgia, and also, every now and then I dabble into self-expression through queer art. So when it comes to queerness, I do think that it's a lot for me about showing up as your genuine self, taking up space, but also not being so brash about it. Like in my art, I definitely focus on the things that we want as queer people. We want to feel, we want to embrace, we want to touch, we want to, we wake up to feel something. When I get out of bed, I wake up and I say, hey, what am I feeling like today? So with these pieces, I wanted to, focus on the feeling of embracing love, grabbing each other, whether that is sexual or is that just, feeling one another in a way where we're creating community. So I do draw inspiration from an LGBT artist. His name is Diwali Severe. He is an artist out in Atlanta. He does visual art as well as make music, DJ, everything that I think when I was younger in high school, I found him one day on social media and I was like, oh my God, like if there was a human being that like represented what I feel like, that was it. So him.
I'm Vee Adams. I'm a printmaker who works in the expanded field of print. So print as installation, print as sculpture, print as artist book. I'm working with paper, I'm working with textiles, I'm working with installation. I really loved thinking about that. One of my pieces, right here behind me, is called 23,000 Possible Partners, and it's thinking about the fungus Schizophilum commune, which has 23,000 different mating types. And I kind of used that as a springboard to think about the expansive possibility of queerness and transness in queer and trans lives. In my work, the body, I'm thinking about the body as becoming, the body as in a state of transformation. The body is liminal, which feels like an incredibly queer way of experiencing and engaging with the body. So in my pieces, the body is entangling with mycelium. The body is immersed in actions of pleasure, but it's not a static body. It's not a fixed moment. The body is blooming or decaying with fungi. And I'm really thinking about that as processes of transformation with the body, especially thinking about bodily autonomy and the theme of the show, and bodies that are becoming. So that's a really important thing for me to celebrate in my work, is these bodies that aren't fixed. They're not permanent. They're in a process of becoming. My favorite artist for a long time has been Felipe Baeza and his sort of collage-based multimedia works.
My name is Ryan Leitner, collage artist, working mostly in photo, painting, photograph of sculptures that I make. And a lot of my work comes from my queer activism and social work. Yeah, I find it really interesting to be showing next to so many figurative pieces, because specifically as queer people, representation is kind of a funny word when you were talking about a community of people that are in every country, every community, every corner of the world, and that kind of reflects my background as a Navy brat growing up everywhere. So my work, I like to think of it as that liminal space where queer people can kind of come together. And so I try to pick things that have no objecthood to photograph and to kind of play around with that I then incorporate into my collage work. Thinking of them as things that the body uses or that are around the body. So thinking of the pieces as the spaces, that liminal space is kind of where I come from. A lot of artists that I find inspiring are artists that think about their medium and their practice a little bit more alternatively, at least during their time. So Rauschenberg for me was a big one. The way that he was using so many disparate kind of ready-made objects and patterns and fabrics. But also photographically, you know, Nan Goldin was such a big person for me. At the same time, Mark Morrisroe. So I like to think of my references as not medium-based, but alternatively based, like artists that think of their materials and their process quite differently.